Yeah, take it like a boss, you dirty bitch. Yeah, there we go. Oh, shit!
Did you know the average kid in America doesn't know about this harmonizing homunculus? Arguably one of the greatest.
Sorry, I was looking for the Nature Channel.
Not today. Someone is
Well folks, it's officially Earth Day, and as you can tell by the title of this video, we'll be infusing aliens with certain elements in order to create new ones best suited for this particular day. And to clarify, no, I will not just be using the wood element for this one. So anyways, let's get cooking.
Snake root.
Starting off, we have the literal snake in the grass, snake root, the result of snake pit combining with the element of wood. Now, I will admit, I did use the spider monkey angle with this one. Much like how Spider Monkey's name is a play on words, since he's based on a real-world spider monkey, as well as, well, being a literal combination of a monkey and a spider, Snake Root's name and design is also a play on words, as he's both named after the snake root plant, as well as being a thematic combination of both a snake and a plant. I don't give a shit if it's on the nose or not, I think it's pretty clever. And I also took a bit of inspiration from Petal-Dramon for Digimon, as well as Audrey 2 from The Little Shop of Horrors. And I went for a body shape similar to that of Serpent from Ben 10 Ultimate Alien. All in all, not too bad. Alright, moving on to powers and weaknesses. For powers, he has a hypnotic stare, much like Ka from the Jungle Book or Sir Hiss from Robin Hood. He's immune to hypnosis, he is incredibly elastic, he can also use his elasticity for combat, he can constrict around his enemies like a python or a boa constrictor, he has razor-sharp fangs both on his head and the ones on his, mouth hands. He can regenerate any wound he sustains, he can reattach his limbs if they're severed off in any way. He has enhanced strength, durability, agility, reflexes, stamina, and flexibility. He can expand his mouth to near impossible widths. He has enhanced strength, durability, agility, reflexes, stamina, and flexibility. He can tunnel underground. He has chlorokinesis or plant manipulation. He can also use plants to heal the wounds on others. And he can communicate with plants on a telepathic level. Now, as far as weaknesses go, his elasticity has its limits. He is vulnerable to electricity. He is also vulnerable and can be severely weakened by acid, and his hypnosis is not always 100% effective. But if snakes are not your thing, then this next guy just might be more appealing. Today's forecast is a few clouds brought in by the fluffy feline that walks on air, Updraft, the result of Fast Track combining with the element of wind. So yeah, in terms of design, there's really not much going on here. I mainly took inspiration from the Greek god Hermes, the messenger of the gods, as well as many big-eared cats. The tufts of fur on his ankles strongly resemble the winged sandals worn by Hermes. Even his ears resemble the wings found on Hermes' helmet or even the helmets worn by the Valkyries in Norse myth. Other than that though, there's really not much to write home about. Now moving on to powers and weaknesses. For retained powers, these include enhanced agility, enhanced reflexes, enhanced strength, enhanced durability, and enhanced jumping. For new abilities, these include aerokinesis, or wind manipulation. Through this, he can harness wind to increase his speed, he can walk on air, dash through air, bounce on air, solidify air, and can even use air to further amplify his hearing. Another new ability I gave him is nephalokinesis, or cloud manipulation, which allows him to generate and even walk on clouds. And lastly, he has a heightened vibrational sense. With this new ability, he can detect even the most smallest vibrational changes in the air, which could easily allow him to dodge any enemy attack before they even have the chance to strike. Now for weaknesses, retained ones involve being vulnerable to electricity, and his speed can be exploitable by enemies that have a quick enough reaction time. And the only new weakness he gets is that his aerokinesis is not always going to be useful. Yeah, a brush up with Updraft is not going to be all easy breezy, because this guy will quite literally blow them away.
Beelzebult!
Next up, we have the juiced up lightning bug, Beelzebult, the result of Edel combining with the element of electricity. Yeah, just like with Updraft, there's really not much going for Beelzebult's design, as the only thing I chose for inspiration was a type of beetle called the tiger beetle, which is not only one of the fastest insects alive, but also has a voracious appetite, which is pretty fitting for what Edel is. He's basically just a voracious insect. But other than that, there's really not much else I can talk about, so we could just move on with powers and weaknesses. Moving on to powers and weaknesses now. For retained powers, he practically inherits most of Edel's natural abilities, minus the whole horn lasers. As far as new abilities go, he can ingest energy instead of just liquids and solids. Now, just like Edel, he can convert whatever he eats into energy, but instead of just energy in general, he only converts it into electrical energy. And although he can use this electrical charge to fire laser blasts in a similar vein to Edel, he can also use it to generate electrical shocks and even generate electrical shock waves. In addition to that, he can also use his electricity to boost his speed and even augment his punches. He can absorb and redirect energy, and the cream of the crop is that he is resistant to electricity. Now for weaknesses, the only one he inherits from regular Edel is his uncontrollable appetite. For new weaknesses, his electrical powers are not going to be 100% effective. He can electrocute himself when in contact with conductive materials. He is vulnerable to enemies that can absorb electricity. And of course, he can electrocute himself whenever he's hydrated. So yeah, all in all, this guy is... Oh, for God's sake, really?
Psychedelian.
Next up, we have the trippy toadstool, Psychedelian, the result of fungi combining with the element of mind. So if the name and design wasn't obvious enough, this guy is clearly based on both the gray aliens as well as psychedelic mushrooms. And I also took a bit of inspiration from the Pokemon Shiinotic as well, which, not gonna lie, does kinda look like an alien in and of itself. And just for the hell of it, I also took a bit of visual inspiration from the 70s era hippies. And let's be honest, the 70s was a decade known for drug use. But if you think he's groovy now, just wait till you see what he does. Now moving on to powers and weaknesses. For powers, his main one are of course emitting hallucinogenic spores, which pretty much have the same exact symptoms from regular psychedelic mushrooms. With these, he can induce actions. With these spores, he can control people's actions, make them see colors, hypnotize them. With these spores, he can control people's movements, make them see colors, hypnotize them, and can even control their minds to some degree. Another cool feature that he has is that he can solidify the hallucinations of his victims. His eyes and the tips of his fingers can glow in the dark, his arms are incredibly elastic, he can tunnel underground, he has enhanced strength, durability, acrobatics, agility, reflexes, and he has incredible jumping capabilities. Now for weaknesses, his hallucinogenic spores aren't going to be 100% effective, especially against like robotic enemies or those with a strong immunity. His elasticity has limits, and of course being a fungal alien, he is vulnerable to fungicides. So yeah, you tango with this walking psychedelic drug, you're gonna end up tripping balls.
Jitterbug.
Last up for today, we have the sonic-powered Jiminy Cricket, Jitterbug, the result of Crash Hopper combining with the element of sound. Once again, an alien that has not much going on in terms of inspiration. Like, since Crash Hopper is literally an alien bipedal grasshopper, with a sound-based version of this guy, I basically themed him after a cricket, since, crickets tend to make noise. And that's it, nothing really special. So I guess we could just safely move on to the powers and weaknesses section. Now for powers, with retained ones, he practically inherits all the same abilities that Crash Hopper has. As far as new powers are concerned, he can generate this high-pitched buzzing sound through specialized organs located in his sides, very similar to those found in cicadas. These sonic buzzes can reflect projectiles in mid-flight. He can also use them to create devastating sonic explosions. He can see in darkness, and he has prehensile feet. Now for weaknesses, for retained ones, he is still vulnerable to these sticky sacs found on the Mucilator. He cannot jump from high altitudes, and if his knees are hit correctly, this will cause him to move backwards automatically. His sonic screeching can hurt allies, his sound-based attacks can be negated, and of course allies are prone to be sent flying backwards from his sonic explosions as much as enemies are. So anyways, hope you liked what you saw, and if you did, please hit like, subscribe so you can stay up to date with more videos like this, and as always, I will... Oh, Blitz, I'm gonna go Elmer Fudd on your red ass, you mother...